1190 WOWO and 107.5 FM.
Just now, on the Newsmaker line, Adam Brandley, and Adam is with a group called the Independent Stock Market, ISM. In fact, you can find out more about them and him at ismclub.com. That's ismclub.com. Let's go to the Newsmaker line and talk to him. Adam Brandley, good afternoon to you, sir. Welcome to the Pat Miller program.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Pat.
Now, with the organization that you're with, I know that a lot of what you guys do is you make sure that capital is either available for companies and especially small businesses, or you help them know, you kind of help navigate them through how they get to the things that are available to them. If anybody's being impacted, and I've tried to look at a lot of numbers, Adam, if anybody is really being impacted, taking a punch in the gut over these shutdowns, it's actually the small business. Am I reading that right?
You're absolutely right. It's certainly the hardest hit. You know, companies have a hard time, big companies have a hard time reacting to this, but imagine the small companies that are really just getting going. Maybe they have 5 employees or 50 employees, and now they've got to pivot. They've got to learn, everything over again. And it's kind of like my brother who runs a marathon, and he was telling me, he said, it's like I'm in the lead, I've got thousands of people behind me, and then all of a sudden I'm hit with a truck. And now it's not so important as winning the race as it is surviving. And that's the thing with these business owners. We've got to help them survive during this and then be able to pivot, because this money from the government, from the CARES Act, that's only for 8 weeks, 2.5 months at the most. So they've got to be able to survive this, but then put together the team and the resources and the strategy to make it through this.
Well, yeah, and when I know, and I noticed in the article, I saw that Lending Tree, which is a name everybody knows, that they did a survey, and they had 1,200 small business owners who responded to it, which, for this kind of a story, that's a pretty large graphic. And out of that 1,200, 71% of them are worried that they will never recover from this economic downturn that's just happened over these few short weeks. I guess a lot of people are surprised to find out that a lot of small business owners are actually living with that small a margin. They are really that close to the edge.
They really are. But there's some hope. I think everybody needs to have hope. And certainly entrepreneurs, if that's one thing characteristic, is that hope, that optimistic attitude of, hey, we're going to figure it out. If there's a problem, we're going to figure this thing out. I just talked to my partner in Hong Kong, and I kind of get daily, weekly updates. They are they're going to restaurants now, even though they're spread out tables and so forth. Their malls are open, but like movie theaters and churches aren't open yet. But they're getting started, and he's saying there are people dying from the disease, but if we don't keep things going, the whole economy will die. And I think
what I'm worried about. Yeah, what I'm worried about here, and I think I hear this a little bit in you, Adam, is what I'm worrying about, and I do realize people are dying from this disease, and I hate that, but I think some businesses are going to end up dying from this disease where the disease never actually came to their location. They're dying as a result of all this peripheral activity because of the disease.
Exactly right. And you kind of take a look at this. What happened with Wall Street, and how does Wall Street operate? They operate on fear and greed. And there's people that have manipulated the market, exaggerated things, and I'm not saying this isn't serious, because it is very serious and people are dying. But when you look at China and you look at their stock market, it dropped not even 9%. Where our market, the Dow Jones, those first 2 weeks, it went from 30,000 to 19,000. Now, that's bigger than a 30% drop, and that's because I believe the manipulation and predatory tactics that are allowed on Wall Street through short sales, where you can make money if a business fails. And so because of that, so much so much was affected. In fact, now what happened, I don't know if you're if you were a business owner on Wall Street, you understand that people were shorting your company's stock. The only way to survive that is to have all this money in reserves to buy back stock and keep confidence in your stock. But most companies in the public market couldn't do that. And now today, if I can give an analogy of that, the coronavirus is that short in our economy. And the only way that the government says, hey, we're going to hedge that and buy back and build confidence in our stock in the American economy is to throw $2.2 trillion and build that confidence. But the problem is it's too late for some of these companies. These people that shorted the stock and gave all these rumors, these companies now, the stock's falling. It doesn't just automatically stop and say, oh, okay, we're good now. So it's a real situation for these companies, but they can get through it. And there are opportunities to pivot and to make it through this.
We've got about 3 minutes left here, Adam, and one thing I'm curious about, and I know you'll probably have some insight for it because we all know about the Paycheck Protection Program, and we've heard about it, and it's been trumpeted by a lot of people. Is there still a problem that there are some small businesses that are still not really sure exactly how it is they access that money and how they get into the pipeline? Is that also part of the problem?
It could be, but if they'll just go to their banks, most of the banks now are educated enough, the branch managers and so forth, and many of them are actually calling their business owners and saying, hey, we can help you apply. So hopefully that takes place everywhere, but if it's not, call their local branch of their bank, and that's, they can call us and we can help them through the application process too, but really reach their bank. We can help them beyond just this temporary, funding. What we do is we help companies through equity crowdfunding access their customers and have their customers become owners in their business. And that is something that was illegal years ago, but now it's legal through the Jobs Act. And everyday Americans can come in and invest in these private companies. Just wasn't possible before. So we actually put together a TV show, like America's Real, or like Shark Tank, but instead of the sharks investing, America gets to invest, and that's called America's Real Deal. And so we're doing these things to help jumpstart these businesses.
That's an awesome idea, because that's the thing that scares me is when this is all over and a lot of people want to go back to their jobs. We have a very large GM plant here in town. We have a Vera Bradley factory here in town, and they all employ large numbers of people. But if you take a slice across Allen County and Fort Wayne, Indiana, we're like America. The higher percentage of people here in this area actually work for small businesses. And when those people are ready to go back to work and they're so excited, how sad if the small business that they left when we had the lockdown, if the business isn't there anymore. And Adam, moving forward, I think we need to do all we can to make sure the businesses are still there. 30 seconds left, Adam. Your turn. What do you think?
Well, I appreciate your concern and getting me on the call, and willing to at any time come back on and answer questions. It's really important to have an optimistic view. This is America, and America has heart and dreams and potential, and we can make it through this. It will pass, and just don't give up. Don't do a fire sale for your assets. Talk to your financial advisors and your business advisors and put together a long-term plan, and that will help see you through.
Yep, I think that's exactly right, and that's great thinking. Adam Brandley from the ISM Club. You can find him at www.ismclub.com and look for America's Real Deal, too, and try to follow that. Adam, for your time today, thank you very much. I'm going to step away, folks. We'll be back here straight ahead, and we'll take your thoughts and phone calls.